thanks again for having us. Hope you guys are here to make some good trouble tonight. Let's hear it for good trouble. Come on, you can do better than that. Let's go! That sounds a little bit better, not a lot. Thanks again for coming out. We're going to do one more number. Again, for those of you who arrived late, we are Resistance drummers. We play for a lot of the movement events, Microjustice, Indivisible, union support events as well. This is Afro-Brazilian percussion. It's taught to us by a number of original masters from Brazil. They come to Vermont. We go down to New York, to other places, Toronto. Some of us go to Brazil to learn this stuff. So it's all, authentic Brazilian, Afro-Brazilian percussion. Thanks again for coming out. We've got one more number. Let me switch. I forgot that I was supposed to play. Jacob, come up here. again for coming out. Again, we're Resistance Drummers. Hope you make lots of good trouble this afternoon, and see you at the next event.
Yes, let's hear it one more time for the Resistance Drummers. Yeah. First things first, I want to direct y'all to the restroom should you need it. It's around this corner, and you go up a twisting and turning ramp. So if you need the restroom, it's back there. We got you covered. I also want to direct your attention to the People's Kitchen, who are setting up some tacos in back. Yes, thank you to the People's Kitchen. They do such great work in this community. So go avail yourself of some tacos. They are accepting donations, cash or Venmo, and they'll be serving until about 6:20. So get it now, get it while you can. And I think before we start the rest of the event today, we should honor the planning committee that brought all this together. So if I could get the planning committee up on the stage here with me. Yeah, come on up. Okay, so from Queen City, Vermont, Indivisible, we've got Marianne Bach, Kathy Butts, and Nikki Clark. From Third Act, we've got Roshan Namazi, as well as Judy Wade. And not with us today, Lois Price. We've got Fenna Oliphant Linden. From the ACLU, we've got Emmy Ald, not with us today. Reverend Corellis Bryant, who we'll hear more from, yes. And from the racial justice team of the First Unitarian Universalist Society of Burlington, who is hosting us today. Thank you so much. Right? We have Kathleen Voigt Walsh. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Our struggle is to redeem the soul of America. It's not a struggle that lasts for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, or a few years. It is the struggle of a lifetime, more than one lifetime. That was civil rights icon and 17-term Congressman John Lewis in an interview in 2016. Now, like many others, he died in 2020. But today, people like us are gathering across the nation to bring life to the idea that he so wisely and bravely shepherded. Good trouble. Now, in his words, when you see something that is not the way it should be, don't be afraid. Speak up, speak out, be courageous, get in the way. Now, my name is Quinn Rawl. I'm a teacher, artist, and activist here in Burlington, and I'll be your MC this afternoon for this Good Trouble Lives On national event here in front of the beautiful UU Church. Now, to quote John Lewis again, and not for the last time, to make it hard, to make it difficult, almost impossible for people to cast a vote is not in keeping with the democratic process. The vote is precious. It's almost sacred. It is the most powerful nonviolent tool or instrument that we have in a democratic society, and we must use it. Sorry, I got a little hot on the mic there. As I'm sure you all know, today we are facing the most brazen rollback of civil rights in generations. So, we are here together to bring attention to the upcoming elections, to highlight how critical this midterm election is to our democracy, learn how we can help strengthen turnout in Vermont elections, and support turnout in other states that are facing tough new election laws. So, we'll hear from some distinguished interfaith speakers, have songs from Joanna Caldwell, a resistance singer, and then you'll have a chance to meet your neighbors back there at those tables and hear what they're doing and learn how you can help and get involved. Because as John Lewis said, sensible people have got to work together. And now just a word from the national organizers of this weekend of events about nonviolence. A core principle behind all Good Trouble Lives On events is a commitment to nonviolent action. We expect all participants to seek to de-escalate any potential confrontation with those who disagree with our values and to act lawfully at this event. This action is nonpartisan and does not support nor endorse any particular candidate or ballot measure. Now, John Lewis may not be with us anymore, but the same spirit that fueled Selma, Montgomery, and the March on Washington lives on in our unified action here today. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you our first speaker. With a BA in Religious Studies and Philosophy from Hiram College, a Master's of Divinity from Yale, and later a doctorate in ministry from Hartford International University for Religion and Peace, Reverend Dr. Arnold Thomas has been a pastor with the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Jericho, Vermont from 2017 to 2024. And he has also shared his spiritual teachings at the Riverside Church in New York, the Wilton Congregational Church in Vermont, the First Congregational Church in Arkansas, Wesleyan University in Connecticut, and for congregations in Massachusetts and beyond. Reverend Dr. Thomas received a Martin Luther King Jr. Peacemaker Award in 1998 and is the recipient of the Walcott Calkins Award for Excellence in Preaching. Please welcome Reverend Dr. Arnold Thomas.
I didn't think I was to be the first, but here I am. Thank you for introducing me, and thank you for allowing me to be at this important occasion. I will try and step back so I'm not overwhelming the microphone. Today, July 17, 2026, is the 6th anniversary of the passing of John Lewis from this life to God's eternal embrace. Representative Lewis, before entering the realm of politics, was an ordained minister, never serving a particular congregation, but directing his ministry toward the good trouble of confronting racism, this age-old sin of our nation. He was the leader of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, the youngest member of Martin Luther King Jr.'s inner circle that included the openly gay political activist Bayard Rustin, labor leader A. Philip Randolph of the Congress of Racial Equality, James Farmer, head of the NAACP at the time, Roy Wilkins, executive director of the National Urban League, Whitney Young, and the president of the National Council of Negro Women, Dorothy Height. He witnessed the civil rights movement at its height with the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, outlawing segregation and discrimination based on race, religion, gender, and national origin, and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, creating the Department of Justice to make sure voting rights were particularly upheld in states where the rights of black and brown people were suppressed. He also witnessed the movement at its bleakest moments, with the dismantling of civil rights and voting rights legislation by conservative political and judicial mandates, undergirded by the sobering reality that America was never, never a democracy where all were created equal. The sobering truth every American must face, which every African American, including John Lewis, has always known, is that America has never been truly a democracy, a nation in which the majority of its framers were wealthy white men who enslaved black people for economic, political, and religious reasons, has and remains a nation whose vested interest is the preservation of a hierarchy of white hegemony. When the Declaration of Independence was proclaimed that all men were created equally, it specifically proclaimed and meant white men, wealthy white men, wealthy enough to own property. So this declaration of inequality affected all who were not white, all who were not male, and all who were not rich. Only up until the start of the Civil War were all white men without property permitted to vote in national elections. Remember also that black people, along with all people of color, were not considered human, were not considered fully human. So the Declaration was never intended to include us. African Americans knew this, and that is why the majority of eligible black people fought for the side of the British in the American Revolution, because the British, themselves no harbinger of virtue, at least promised freedom for every black person who fought for them. This declaration of inequality continues a legacy that fears true democracy in the manifestation and continuation of the Electoral College. The Electoral College was established to prevent popular rule. The framers of the Constitution feared that direct democracy could lead to what they considered a tyranny of the majority. Electing what they feared would be an unqualified leader. Hello? Hello? Without the Electoral College, Bob Gore and Hillary Clinton would have been president. The present white ring majority of the Supreme Court was elected by presidents who did not command the popular vote. Democracy has been further dismantled and disabled by a racist, right-wing conspiracy to maintain white aristocracy. We must abolish the college. But more than this, We, regardless of race, gender identity, ethnicity, sexual orientation, income, or national origin, must all demand and claim the dignity that is rightfully ours as Americans, acknowledging that no one who desperately desires to be free is illegal in this nation. The 2016 presidential election was one of the bleakest moments for African Americans because it proved once and again, like a salt on a gaping wound, that ours is a nation of broken promises. Broken promises in Reconstruction, broken promises in affirmative action, broken promises in voting rights, broken promises in the election of a president that opposes everything for which we fought and died. Black Americans feel betrayed by a nation that has turned its back on the cause of civil rights in the twice election of a president who spits on our cause. For this reason, you will find few of our number among you until you have committed your cause, your priorities to our cause and our priorities. Truly, no one is free until all are free and equal. A passage from Matthew's Gospel instructs that God's presence is known and felt when we care for the least among us. I firmly believe that God is not some high potentate with a white beard in the clouds on high. I believe that God is in every act of justice and compassion. John Lewis coined the phrase "good trouble" as an act of agitating and resistance to injustice. Only when we commit our cause to good trouble of every marginalized and oppressed community among us will we find our dignity, our humanity, and our divinely endowed equality. Thank you.
There we go. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Arnold Thomas. And now, to lead us in some song, we're going to welcome Joanne Caldwell to the stage. Joanne is from the L'Chaim Collective, and it's going to lead us in two songs from the Civil Rights Movement, one from the Civil Rights Movement and one from present day. Is that right? All right. Take it away, Joanne. Thank you.
Please sing with. This one is a beautiful one that came from an old spiritual and was repurposed in the modern civil rights movement, and I'm sure that many of you know it. So I'm going to just start singing and hope that you will join me with your full voice. I woke up this morning with my mind set on justice. I woke up this morning with my mind set on justice. justice. I woke up this morning with my mind, and it was set on justice. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Let's do freedom. I woke up this morning with my mind, and it was set on freedom. I woke up this morning with my mind, and it was set on freedom. I woke up this morning with my mind, and it was set on freedom. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I woke up this morning with my mind set on reparations. I woke up this morning with my mind set on reparations. I woke up this morning with my mind set on reparations. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We have a lot of reparations to pay, and I hope that we'll all never stop committing to it. Yesterday, a lot of us were right over there where we started at City Hall, and we marched up Church Street, and we had a demonstration right here in front of the courthouse against ICE and these murders, the latest round of ICE murders. And so this song, a more modern civil rights song that we learned from song leaders in Minneapolis, and it's in Spanish. No están solos, you're not alone. No están solas, you're not alone. Juntos hacemos la liberación. Together we will create liberation. We'll build freedom together. So I'm sure also some of you know this one. Please sing, and you'll learn it real fast if you don't know it yet. No están solos. You try it. No están solos. No están solas. No están solas. Juntos hacemos. You go. Juntos hacemos la liberación. La liberación, all together. No están solos. No están solas. Juntos hacemos la liberación. Let's do it one more time. No están solos. No están solas, juntos hacemos la liberación. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of us in the crowd have sang that song a couple times at least already. It's a necessary one. Okay, now I get the, again, distinct honor of introducing a great man. Reverend Corellis C. Bryant, Senior Pastor at the United Church of Lincoln, Vermont. Originally from Jacksonville, Florida, Corellis got his bachelor's from NYU, where he focused on political science and theater. He obtained the Master of Divinity degree from Emory University's Candler School of Theology in Atlanta, Georgia, specializing in preaching and pastoral care, and is currently a doctoral student at Drew Theological School in Madison, New Jersey. Corellis has worked as a community organizer and nonprofit manager at United Way and Jacksonville Public Education Fund. He has been heard on National Public Radio, Union Chapel on Martha's Vineyard, and at the Riverside Church in the city of New York. Corellis was a keynote speaker at the No Kings rallies in Bristol, Middlebury, and the State Lawn in Montpelier. He is a trusted voice as a defender of our democracy in the state of Vermont. Please welcome Reverend Corellis C. Bryant.
Good afternoon, Burlington. Good afternoon, Vermont. If we've not had the enchanted pleasure of meeting just yet, I'm Reverend Corellis Bryant, and it's my joy to serve as the pastor of the United Church of Lincoln in Lincoln, Vermont. It was a sunny spring morning on March 7, 1965. John Lewis and about 500 other social activists stood at the highest point on the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. This bridge crossed the Alabama River and started a 54-mile journey to Montgomery, Alabama, the state capital. As they were standing at the highest point on that bridge, what waited for them on the other side was progress. What waited for them on the other side was the stirring of the conscience of a nation. What waited for them on the other side was hope. But there was also something else waiting for them on the other side. The Alabama State Troopers, some on horseback with billy clubs, tear gas in their hands, vicious racism in their hearts, and hatred in their eyes. At the top of that bridge was John Lewis and his brothers and sisters in the movement. John Lewis had a backpack with an apple and a toothbrush and a heart bursting with love for democracy and fearless, unrelenting resolve in his eyes. John Lewis had a choice to make that day: retreat and let the powers of hatred and racism win, or sign up to get into some good trouble. And with divine determination, they continued marching together with this mantra coursing through their veins: forward together, not one step back. Forward together, not one step back. And on August 6, 1965, just 5 months later, President Lyndon Baines Johnson would sign into law the Voting Rights Act. So don't you think for a second that your being here doesn't matter. Democracy has always relied on brave men and women and siblings with love in their hearts and fearless, unrelenting resolve. Calling upon you to guard the lamp of freedom, to secure and guard the right to vote. Remember the suffragettes who would not quit until women had the right to vote. Remember that the right to vote has ushered in so much progress for America's people. Not total progress, but some. Someone we voted for made it happen. Social Security, someone we voted for made it happen. Medicaid and Medicare, someone we voted for made it happen. The Affordable Care Act. Someone we voted for made it happen. Minimum wage, on our way to a living wage. Someone we voted for made it happen. Marriage equality. Someone we voted for made it happen. Voting is a right, not a privilege. It's not a privilege. John Lewis called the right to vote precious, almost sacred, he said. And so no matter your gender, voting is a right. No matter your race, voting is a right. No matter who you love, voting is a right. No matter how much money you have or don't have, voting is a right. And we refuse to let anyone take that from us. Forward together, not one step back. Forward together. As Dr. King said, no one can ride your back unless it's bent. And today, in Burlington, Vermont, we have shown up with love in our hearts, but with steel in our spine. Steel in our spines. Forward together. And we see all the voter suppression tricks happening all over the country. We see it, but that will not stop us. You move our polling place, we will tell our neighbors where the new one is. You change the voting hours, we will stand in line with our neighbors for as long as it takes. You change the districts, well, we'll show our neighbors what the new maps look like. Steels of spine, forward together and not one step back. We are now standing at the highest point of our own bridge right now. And we're looking down on some leaders who want to destroy democracy. And it's our turn, beloved, to sign up with John Lewis and 500 others and so many more across the movement. It's our turn to sign up for some good trouble. Who's ready for some good trouble? I said, who's ready for some good trouble? We will remind them that this government is of the people and by the people and for the people. And so, if you're going to try to destroy democracy, you're going to have to go through us. Forward together. We'll cross every bridge, not one step back. We'll hike every mountain. We'll cross every valley. Ain't no river wide enough, baby. Forward together. Forward together. Forward together. Thank you very much.
Glad he's on our side. Right, and now it is my honor to introduce you to Sherry Wormser, a member of the League of Women Voters, which has been around for 100 years, helping people vote through education, advocacy, and working to change policy through communities at the local and state level. Now, in 2024 alone, the League helped preserve over 9 million votes. Sherry is a community organizer spending her time not only on advocating for voting rights, but fighting the oppression of ICE and its effects in our communities. Sherry Wormser.
Hi, what acts to follow? Amazing men. Let's hear it for Reverends Bryant and Thomas. All right. I'm here to do the reach part, sorry. And so we are going to kick it up a notch again. All right. When black rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When black rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When black rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. Woo! When voting rights are under attack, what are we going to do? Stand up, fight back. When voting rights are under attack, what are we going to do? Stand up, fight back. Louder. Stand up, fight back. Louder. Stand up, fight back. Woo! All right, everybody. We are going to need this energy in the next several months. We have amazing powers who are aggressively trying and systematically trying to defeat us. They are going to lie and cheat and steal in order to get their way. But what are we going to do? Stand up, fight back. Come on, one more time. Stand up, fight back. Woo! All right. Over the last year and a half, I have repeatedly heard people say, everything is going to be fine at the midterms. We no longer have the luxury for voting to be a passive event. Let me say that again. We do not have the luxury for voting to be a passive event. Too many people got a voting ballot, circled in a little circle according to whatever party they liked or maybe who their friends liked, made sure there was no dangling chads, put it in a little voting machine, got your little sticker, and called it good. We cannot do that anymore. What are we going to do? Woo! All right. So we also know freedom is not free. Our freedom, black freedom, LGBTQ, women's rights are not free. It is going to take every single one of us to fight this fascist regime. We have to fight just as aggressively as they are trying to eliminate our votes in order to keep our elections free, fair, and safe for all of us. Not just the white MAGA men, because they are trying to take away the votes of every person. During the last 250 years of this country, and I say that in tongue-in-cheek, many of our ancestors fought for our freedom to vote. We've heard of John Lewis tonight. Many of you know of the Civil Rights Movement. Think about this. Almost 200 years of our country were required to get the Civil Rights Act for black voters to be allowed to vote. Women got the vote in 1920s, about 100 years ago. The 18th Amendment was fought with blood and marching and in the courts, and many died for the right for people of color to vote. By March 24th, 2021, 3 months into Biden's term, there were 47 states that initiated 360 bills in 3 months to restrict voting rights, most predominantly against black voters who helped Joe Biden get elected. This is not new. We are up against something stronger and more vicious. The upcoming election in November is probably the most important election of our lifetime. Let me say this again. This election is probably the most important election of our lifetime. This election may determine whether we have the right to vote at all. Is anybody confused about that? Good. I don't have to explain that. Donald Trump has stated many times that he thinks no one will ever have to vote again. Do not take that as a joke. This is not a drill. His actions are clear. He wants to lie, cheat, and steal in order to get his way. What is that going to look like? That is going to look like voter suppression everywhere we go. We talked about voter suppression at the polling places, moving polling places. We're going to get our neighbors and drive them to the polling places. We are going to get our loved ones who might be in nursing homes to the polling places. We are going to get our people with ability needs to the polling places and help them vote. Let's talk about other ways that there's voter suppression. The United States Postal Service is supposed to be an independent service and not a bootlicking service. However, they have said that they will no longer postmark mail-in ballots on the day that they are put in the postal mailbox. So that they have said that could take 3 to 5 business days. And in November, there's going to be more ballots coming in, more mail coming in. So that's going to look like you might need to put your ballot in 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. How many of you knew that that rule had changed? Exactly. That's the problem. Most people don't know that. Think of how many votes are not going to be counted. Now, I have this whole speech here, but I'm going to go off speech because some of you may have heard the shenanigans that were pulled last night. Donald Trump has said that China was involved in every single election fraud except for the ones that he won. He is trying to put this in our minds so that he can claim election fraud in 2024. We know for a fact that he is going to do that. He also said that he is going to, for some of the polling machines, one of the companies is called Dominion. And in 2024, we know for a fact that in certain key places, those voting machines had random upgrades to their machines. They are highly, highly regulated. But they had right before the election, they had an upgrade in certain key states. And guess what? Many of those ballots weren't counted for president. Guess who they were voting for? Not Donald Trump. The Election Truth Alliance has been very active in promoting election truth. It is their work that we know the election fraud that was committed in 2024. We also know that Elon Musk paid for votes. Many of those people didn't get that money, go figure. But he's going to try that again. But he's going to be a little more secretive. So this administration is trying to keep the SAVE Act. How many of you are familiar with the SAVE Act? Not only for women voters, anyone that has ever changed their name. What if you were in a domestic violence situation or LGBTQ? Your voting rights are at risk. They are doing everything to try to get this to pass, most recently putting it in a military bill. We have to do everything we can to stop this administration. So the real threats to election fraud are there. Voter fraud has been, in the past, minuscule. The number of voter fraud over the years accumulated would not change the vote in one city's school board election. However, Donald Trump is trying to say that voter fraud is rampant. Why do you think he's going to do that? Because he's going to do it. How many of you know that one of our federal elected officials, not in Vermont, committed election fraud and voted into a place where he was not eligible to vote? Yep, this is real. This is not a drill. Okay, take a breath. This is a lot. This is only a minuscule amount of what they are doing to try to eliminate all of our votes. When our votes are oppressed, when anyone's votes are oppressed, none of us are free. Okay, shake it out. Let's talk about what we can do. Okay? How many of you are organizing right now and have dedicated time towards our election and what you're going to do? I see some of you. Okay, let's get these numbers going. All right. These are some ways we can make some good trouble. Sorry, I'm not really a great speaker. So on the state website, there is a Vermont voter guide. Let's find out who our candidates are, right? First, we got to see who our candidates are because they're not all alike. You vote one party, they're not all alike. Who's taking APAC? Who's voting for things you don't like? Who's a maggot in disguise? And there are lots of them. Okay? The League of Women Voters has something called Vote 411. It gives you some ways that you can find out who your people are that you're voting for. How else can you help? Let's kick it up a notch. Okay? We need to work really hard. What are we going to do? We're going to stand up, fight back. One more time. Come on. Stand up, fight back. Good. Okay. So there are organizations who are calling districts and voters to make sure that they are registered on their polls. Because guess what? Polling places are taking people off their registers. Sometimes it's because nobody's voted for a while. Sometimes it's for nefarious reasons. And it's not just here in Vermont. It is everywhere, and it will be rampant in other places. How else can we do it? Let's defund people who are committing this election fraud. That includes Elon. That includes... Okay. We need to demand transparency from our local government because this is going to happen rapidly. Our government, our Vermont government, will need to invest highly in fighting this election fraud that they said yesterday. Talking about the Dominion voting machines, we will have to make sure that they are independently updated when they're supposed to, and that they are not updated randomly. We will need to know, the thing that Donald Trump said last night, did y'all hear this? Tom Homan was like, he was saying if state voting people do not comply with giving the updates to the Dominion voting machines, they could face jail time. This isn't a joke. This is a reality that we need to stand up against. So how can you do that? Who knows your local polling people? How can we support them? Excellent. What do they need for safety? I don't know that answer. We also have coming up in November the Equal Rights Amendment. And why is that important in voting? It's not just for women. It has to do with all of our voting. If we pass this amendment in November, we can use this for equal access for health care. In Brattleboro, there is the birthing center is closing. That is not equal access for women's health care. We need to organize coalitions in our neighborhood to help others get to the polls. We need to help keep people safe at the polls. We know for a fact that they want ICE and the National Guard at our polling places. Now, Vermont is unique. Vermont is very different than Minneapolis or Chicago or DC, where the National Guard is going to be there forever, pretty much. So the League of Women Voters successfully in March did an election observing program. We need all of you from all places around Vermont to help keep people safe. We will provide training that you can help observe the elections and make sure there's no shenanigans happening outside that could cause trouble for anyone. We have voters who are afraid to leave their homes because of what is happening. How many people know families who are afraid to leave their homes? Yeah, not many of us. Okay. All right, so these are just a few ways that we can start some good trouble. But let's talk about some other things. We can't be passive. We cannot just sit here and wait for the elections to happen. How many of you are going to do some phone calling? Just a few. How many of you are going to take your neighbors to polling places? One or two. How many of you are ready to cause some really good trouble? Right on. Okay. Now, we need to cause some good trouble. We are going to make sure that our elections stay free, fair, and safe, because the oppression of votes for one is the oppression of votes for all. We cannot let this country deteriorate further into fascism. Our freedom, our voting is a tenet of our country. Many other countries have honored our voting system. It is definitely not perfect, and we have a lot of work to do. We need all of you. All right, one more time. When black votes are under attack, what do we do? When black rights are under attack, what do we do? When voting rights are under attack, what do we do? One more time. What are we going to do? We're going to cause some good trouble. Excellent. Thank you guys for your time. Go see all of our tables. They're going to tell you exactly what they're going to be doing for the elections. And if they don't have a plan, be that change.
Sherry Wormser, thank you. All right, and I want to use my voice one last time, right? So Joanne Caldwell is going to lead us one more song, and then we're going to release you to see how you can cause some good trouble. Check out the tables behind you.
Okay.
Take it away, Joanne.
Thanks. So that was some heavy stuff and some scary stuff. So we need to gather our courage, and that's what this song is. I learned it from the wonderful, amazing Vermont song leader, Maura Smiley. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Let's try it. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Let's do it again. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Repeat after me. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. Everybody speak up. Everybody speak up. Everybody shake it up. Everybody shake it up. Everybody here. Everybody. Again. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. Everybody speak up. Everybody speak up. Everybody shake it up. Everybody shake it up. Everybody here now, gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Gather your courage into your heart. When we're together, we can start. Thank you. Let's go check out all these tables and find out how we can do more and support each other and protect our neighbors.
Yeah, so feel free to start checking out the tables behind you. We've got 10 organizations here that I'm going to tell you some more about. But feel free to go and start checking them out. So at table number 1, you'll meet Jeffrey. That's the First Unitarian Universalist Society. Oh, Jeffrey's over here passing out flyers, never mind. But at table 1, we've got the First Unitarian Universalist Society of Burlington, their racial justice team, as well as the Vermont Interfaith Action and Vermont Racial Justice Alliance. Now, they are 3 groups collaborating to make people aware of a November ballot initiative called Proposal 4, which, if passed, will amend the Constitution of the state of Vermont to specify that the government must not deny equal treatment under the law on account of a person's race, ethnicity, sex, religion, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, or national origin. So find out more about that at Table 1, Proposition 4, Proposal 4. At Table 2, we've got Peggy and Zoe from the Vermont Racial Justice Alliance. They are a Black-led, nonpartisan organization that encourages Black, Indigenous, and other people of color and other marginalized communities to engage in dismantling systemic racism and to learn more about and become increasingly engaged in civic activities. You can help by supporting their work financially, learning and doing the work of dismantling systemic racism yourself, volunteering to assist with outreach, communications, and events, and supporting voter registration. At Table 3, we've got Carmela from the First Unitarian Universalist Society of Burlington's Palestine Solidarity Team. There she is waving, Carmela. Now, from them, they believe that the exercise of the right to vote must be practiced at all levels of society. It is necessary but not sufficient to wait for the periodic government election of representatives to promote this democratic right. The right to vote must be regularly defended and promoted in the organizations of civil society in order to protect and enhance it when electing our government representatives. So stop by table 3 to see Carmela and hear more about the Palestine Solidarity Team. At table 4, we've got the Vermont State Secretary's Office. Now, in addition to several other essential services, they oversee federal and state elections in Vermont. So this is perfect for them to be here. We are here to encourage, they're here to encourage voter registration and participation, and to get the word out about their voter guide, which is so cool. And that can be found at the Vermont Voter Portal online. They just launched also the Vermont Civic Connect, a program for Vermont businesses and nonprofit organizations that are committed to improving civic engagement across the state. So stop by table 4 to learn more. And then over on the other side of the path here, we've got table number 5 with Dottie. And she's here from the League of Women Voters. They are a nonpartisan and multi-issue political organization who, for over 100 years, like I shared before, have committed to defending democracy and advocating for voting rights. So you can go see Dottie at table 5 to learn more about that from the League of Women Voters. And at table 6, we've got Amr from Queen City Indivisible. They are a group of concerned individuals seeking to preserve democracy, resist autocracy, and build community connections through nonviolent protests, actions, and local events. They seek volunteers to join an election-focused committee or to sign up for their newsletter to get news of election activities. So see Amr at table 6 for Queen City Indivisible, and helping get out the vote for as many Vermonters as possible. So go see Fenna at table 7 if you're interested in getting connected with the ACLU. At table 8, you'll meet Judy from Third Act. And now, Third Act, I don't know if you've heard of them or met them before. They're a nonpartisan association of older adults who are focused on working on issues pertaining to the environment and democracy. They've been committed to conducting voter registrations with young people turning 18 in high school. And they also work on supporting legislation to act around climate-related matters, including solar and wind power and electric vehicles. So if you want to learn more about Third Act, go see Judy at table 8. At table 9, we've got Champlain Valley Indivisible. I think Deborah and Lucy are over there. And now their mission is to build an inclusive, broad, and durable community in the Champlain Valley, united in support of democratic values, the rule of law, and equal justice for all. They're a volunteer organization that protects and gets out the vote, so go see Deborah and Lucy if you want to learn more about Champlain Valley Indivisible. And then at table 10, we've got Charlotte from VPIRG, the Vermont Public Interest Research Group, Vermont's largest environmental and consumer advocacy group. They do canvassing about democracy, and they do a lot of outreach to legislators. So if you're interested in the Vermont Public Interest Research Group, go talk to Charlotte. Otherwise, it looks like the People's Kitchen are still helping out with tacos. So if you want to go grab a taco before they close up, please feel encouraged. And remember, they accept donations through cash or Venmo. And just want to thank y'all for coming out for this weekend of action. Good Trouble lives on.
So, was Marianne, Miriam? Oh, yeah. The doc. I am. That's not connected to.
So I don't know. So what's the signal?
Signal. It's a way to communicate.
Touch me while I'm eating. I needed something.
I'm excited.
Good experience. I hear you. Yeah.